guys, it's Lee and I'm back today with another bread machine recipe. I had someone leave a comment asking if I had a yeast bread recipe for blueberries, raspberries, or cranberries. I don't, but I think I'm gonna make one up and we'll see how this goes. I'm going to use a recipe for sweet bread and then I'm gonna put it in the machine on the dough cycle. When it's done, I'm gonna take it out and sort of gently fold in some blueberries and we'll see how it goes. I'll let you know either way if it works or it doesn't. So let's get into this recipe. Start off with 1 cup of milk or cream, plus I added in 1/4 cup of butter and just sort of heated them all together so the butter would melt. This is actually a little too hot, so I'm gonna let it sit for a second before I add in the eggs. So while that's cooling down a bit, I'm going to add in 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm going to break up that sugar a little bit. I don't know if it really matters, but go ahead and break that up. Now that the cream has cooled down, I'm going to add in 2 beaten eggs. You need to be careful with this. If the cream is too hot, you'll end up with scrambled eggs in your bread. Next is 4 cups of flour. I'm using all-purpose flour. Bread flour would probably be better, but I can't get bread flour right now, so all-purpose it is. Oops. Next, I'm adding in 1 package of yeast, which is 2 1/4 teaspoons. Gonna make a little well to put that in. Ideally, you'd want to use bread machine yeast, but again, right now this is all I can find. So I'm gonna add in the rapid rise. I put the pan in the machine, and on my machine, dough is number 8. Start. I'm going to come back in a few minutes and check the dough to make sure it isn't too dry or too wet, and I will bring you back to show you. Alright, here we are after a few minutes. I think this dough is fine. I'm going to leave it just how it is. Maybe you could use a couple of sprinkles of water, but I'm just going to let it go. I think it'll be okay. Okay, so here is the dough after the dough setting, and I'm going to pour it out onto this floured surface, and I had to do this the hardest way possible. Alright, I'm going to flatten this out. Now just remember, I'm kind of making this up as I go along. I'm going to flatten it out. I have 1 cup of blueberries. I'm going to pour some in here. I just don't want them to break up too much because it's going to make the dough too watery. I don't know. All right, and then I'm going to fold it over. Try not to squish too hard. And do the same thing again. Now this is 1 cup of blueberries. I think I said that already. I'm going to roll it up. Pinch it on the bottom. Whoops, another escapee. And form it into a loaf as best I can. You can put this in a pan, but I'm just going to bake it on a parchment lined cookie sheet. So I'm rolling the ends under just to make it look prettier. All right, I think that's good. Whoops. I've placed it on my cookie sheet and now I'm gonna let it rise for about an hour in a draft-free place. All right, so here it is after an hour of rising. Thinking about it, I probably should have cut this into 2 smaller loaves, but it's too late for that now, so we're gonna have 1 big giant loaf of blueberry bread. I'm gonna give the loaf an egg wash, which is 1 large egg and 1 tablespoon of water. I don't usually measure it, but I did today just so you would know how I did it. So I'm gonna give this a gentle brushing all around. Next, I'm going to take a little bit of brown sugar. I don't even know exactly how much, but I'm just gonna sprinkle some on the top. Now I'm gonna take a super sharp knife and run it along to create, whoops, some slashes so the bread can open up. And now I'm gonna pop this in a 375 degree oven. Not sure how long it's gonna take to bake, but I will let you know as soon as it's done. All right, I just took it out of the oven and it baked for 26 minutes. And I probably could have taken it out a minute or 2 earlier, but it still looks delicious. Also, I wish I hadn't made the slits quite so deep, but again, it's not gonna change how it tastes. So I'm gonna let this cool off on a cooling rack and I will be back later to cut it and show you what it looks like inside. All right, guys, here it is. It looks delicious. It smells so good. I mean, it smells amazing. I think some of that has to do with the vanilla that I put in, but oh my gosh, it smells so good. So let's cut a piece and see what it looks like. Maybe I'll do it this way. I guess it doesn't matter. Sorry, I have to do it this way. Alright, so this is what it looks like on the inside. I don't normally eat bread, but this smells so good, I'm gonna try it. This bread is amazing. I definitely recommend this recipe. The bread is super soft. It is so good. I love it. I was a little concerned that I had overbaked it, but honestly, I like the crunchiness of the sugar on the outside, and then the bread itself, excuse the blueberry on my fingers, the bread itself is so soft and so delicious. So if you like this recipe, please give this video a thumbs up. If you make this recipe, take a picture and post it on Instagram or Facebook, and make sure you tag LeighsHome05 so I can see it. And also, I have a playlist of bread recipes that I will leave linked in the description box below, so you can go and check out the other types of bread I've made. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. And you can also find me over on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and Facebook at LeighsHome05. Thanks for watching. Bye.